Well, hey everybody, my name is Dan. I do media relations here at AAMI. I am here at day 3 of the AAMI Exchange here in Phoenix, and I am here with Dustin Telford. He is principal at Healthcare Technology Strategies and one of our 2024 AAMI Fellows. So Dustin, congratulations. It was well deserved. You actually picked up your reward yesterday. Tell me about this milestone. What does it mean for you?
Well, I don't know. I'm honored, but there are so many people that do so much in this field, so much with AAMI, so much in the field as a whole, that it's truly both an honor and it's something that I encourage anybody to just continue to strive on. So what am I going to do next? I'm going to continue to do whatever I did to earn this honor.
Steady she goes.
Yes.
Understood. All right. Well, I'm told you discovered HTM by accident back in the day. Tell me about that. Tell me about how it turned out.
I did. The short version is I was house sitting, a friend's house, and a recruiter called. And the recruiter said, "Who are you? Have you ever considered joining the Army?"
Yeah.
And I said, yes, I had, and I wanted to serve my country. So we had a conversation. If people are familiar with this or not, you go through this process of testing and evaluations, and they give you these openings, current openings, and one was medical equipment repair. Now, I originally was pre-med, and I saw avenues in healthcare, but when I saw medical equipment repair, I said, that's for me, because I was always a tinkerer. I was always trying to teach myself to solder and have the burns to show it still, probably from when I was a teenager.
Not going to ask you to show me, but I'll take your word for it.
So I discovered it that way, and then what I thought was, well, I'll do this, and then I will do what I really am in school to do. Mm-hmm. Once I was in biomed school or medical equipment repair school, I realized, hey, this is something I could do for 5 years. And by the time I graduated, which was about a year later, I realized this is something I want to do for 10 or more years. And probably within 6 months after that, I realized, geez, I can see myself really doing this forever. And it's probably because of the potential and the possibilities of things that we do in healthcare technology management.
Yeah, understood. Thank you. So you ended up, I'm guessing, leaving the Army Reserve and ended up having an impressive career, a bunch of different organizations. Tell me about that. What twists and turns did you end up taking?
I think like anybody that makes choices, and sometimes good, sometimes bad, I was lucky. And I hope everybody's lucky too. They find those places and those people that they've worked with that take them under their wing, that inspire them to do something different. And I can tell you that the first civilian organization I worked for a gentleman named Steve Molding. And Steve inspired me to do so many things that weren't typical at the time for a Biomed 1. He asked me to do things that were kind of specialized, imaging service, ventilator service, but he also asked me to be involved in projects, and he inspired me to continue my education. I would say that those moments, and I'm just bringing up Steve here, those moments of working with good people, whoever they are, have inspired me or continued to make me hopefully think about what I do in the field to help others, for that matter.
I see. So you brought up education. That's how you found AAMI back in the day, right?
Yes. So I believe in continuous learning, whatever that shape or form takes. And years ago, I decided, well, why am I not doing something more with my HTM education than just what my employer is providing? And so I reached out to the broader community. There used to be an email listserv called Biomed Talk. And I said, if I were to spend my own money, which conference, what should I invest in? And I think I posed the question about which conference specifically. And the AAMI Exchange, or AAMI Conference back in those days,
before the brand shift, yeah.
Yeah, was the key thing.
Okay.
And I said, well, okay, I'm going to save that money and I'm going to do it, and I did it. And once I got just that exposure to even the larger community, I realized, well, I'd like to help.
Yeah, I imagine going to the conference at the time was just whole sea of awesome networking opportunities, seeing what's out there, right? Plus all the new tools and what their career really could be.
It was, and I can tell you this, I met people that I had no idea that they were like big,
Sure.
right? Grandfathers now, they call them, of HTM or biomed or clinical engineering. And I met people that I did know because of reading publications or whatever were big, and it was equally inspiring.
That's awesome to hear. So one more career question before I drop that. Would you say that you're a bit of a specialist, or did you move around, work on a bunch of different issue areas? What'd you do?
Well, I like to do a lot of different things, and the same thing applies with HTM. I appreciate learning a little bit about a lot of topics. It's not always the case that one should recommend that. I've worked with individuals that are highly, highly specialized in areas where I could only say I'm slightly specialized, like imaging. But I'm a generalist, if you want to kind of bucket it that way, and I think that's where, at least my accomplishments, some of the things that I can contribute are good because I give a different perspective. I can say, well, I've both been a field service engineer and I've been in-house. I've been an appointed clinical engineer, and I've been a director of clinical engineering. Those different roles and those different, let's call it, areas of expertise have both given me the challenges that I've needed, but they've also been helpful most of the time in me being able to give a different perspective.
That's awesome. Thank you. What about advice for younger HTM professionals or folks who are just getting into the field? What would you tell them?
Well, I would say, even though I just said I'm a generalist, I would say consider what you want to do. Consider what you want to do, but initially when you get into this field, be a generalist. Be very broad, but as you're looking at, say, your first 6 months or your next year or whatever in the field, consider, maybe it's not for everybody, like it's not for me, consider specializing in certain areas that are of need and interest, right? Do you have the aptitude for it, and do you have the passion for it?
Yeah, it's got to be that golden mean.
Right. There's a person here that obviously has a very big role in AV and VR. He seems to have a passion for that, and there's definitely a need. So there's a good combination example. But we always need people that can fix equipment. We always need people that can fix, let's say, the operator when they're stressed about the equipment not working the way they hoped. So start as a generalist, and then see if that's the path you want to take, or if you want to specialize in a couple of areas or whatever. And you can always change, right?
That's true.
There's mid-career changers. I wouldn't suggest that somebody changes out of this field. I really like the field myself. But if you're bored or not as passionate, say 20 years into the field, find something else that you can contribute to in this field.
That's brilliant advice. Thank you. So, Dustin, you've put in the work. You got yourself an award. You've been with AAMI for a whole lot of time now. What's next?
I don't know. People have asked me this, and I can tell you that very honestly, I think the same things that helped me, I guess, earn this honor are the same things that I'm going to continue to do. One thing that I have asked of the other fellows is, what does this mean? Do we have to do more work? And the answer has been, with kind of this mixed hesitancy, yeah, I think we might need to. But at the same time, I would encourage everybody to do what, I stumbled into really with AAMI, and to volunteer. either at AAMI, your local biomed association, even your local nursing association, or in some cases, your HIMSS association, whatever that is, but to volunteer to participate, to be an active member for that matter, show up at the meetings. But I don't know what I'm going to do with this other than I'm sporting my little pin, and I'm
wear it well.
very proud of it. Thanks.
All right. Well, Dustin, thank you for taking the time to talk with me. Congratulations on joining the AAMI Fellows.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.